everybody, and man, Respawn has done an amazing, crazy announcement at Pax East. So this video is going to give you all of the information that you need to know about the announcement that they did make today on their Pax East panel. But really quickly, let me introduce the gameplay. I'm using the Carbine, of course, and I'm playing Domination. I'm actually playing with one of the artists who works for Respawn. He's responsible for making the Strider Titan in all of its glory, the best Titan in the game, and apparently he's a much more of an objective player than me because he always manages to usually come above me when it comes to domination, even though I get more kills, but whatever. I'm a slayer, okay? I accept my position. So now that that's over with, let's get into the exciting, super awesome news. So today, Respawn held a panel at Pax East, and they were just there to talk about the game, just generally talk about it after now it's been released on Xbox One and 360 all over the world. And they made some announcements about DLC and patches and new stuff coming to the game that I personally was not expecting. Most developers usually wait until E3 or like some super big crazy thing for them to announce anything or talk about anything, but Respawn just kind of laid it all out on the table for us. So let's start off by talking about the DLC. So the first DLC for Titanfall is going to be called Expedition, and there is a picture of Expedition. This is actually showcasing one of the maps that is coming out. There's going to be 3 maps in the DLC. So the first map is Swampland, which is the one that's pictured on the Expedition cover art, I guess you could call it. It's called Swampland. It's set in a swamp, hence why it's called Swampland. And it's also set amongst ancient ruins. And there's a lot of trees. There's not really many walls. As we all know, we're used to running along the flat surface walls and stuff like that, whereas in Swampland, there's trees. Now, this is really interesting for me because I see that there's going to be a lot of different routes that you can take because you're wall running off of a tree rather than a wall. So I'm really interested to see different ways that you can run along this map. Also, you can run along the top of trees, like in the canopy. So I think that's really cool. It's going to be very different to the kind of structural building maps that we've had so far. The next map that they announced, which we don't have a picture for, but we have a little bit of information, is called Runoff, and they didn't really say anything about it except that it's in water, or like it's set in water. It's a water-based map. We don't really have any water-based maps, so that's really interesting as well. It seems like we're getting completely different maps from this DLC that we've experienced before, so I'm excited for that. And the last map, which is called Wargames, takes place in the training simulator. So if you played the training part of Titanfall when you first got the game, that's what it is. It takes part in that place. So it looks very like Tron. If you've seen Tron, it looks very much like that with the lights and stuff. So I think that'll be interesting. It's a very cool looking map. So I'm really excited for all of these maps. Like I said, they're bringing us something different to what we're used to so far with the maps already in the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they play. And this DLC is gonna be coming out in May. That's next month. We're already like mid-April and it's gonna be out in May. So we're looking at like a month, maybe slightly over a month before the DLC comes. So I wasn't expecting it in May. I was expecting it in like June, maybe a little bit later than June, but I was not expecting May. Now, besides the DLC announcement, they also announced a bunch of new updates that they're bringing to the game, which is of course completely free. So one thing that they mentioned is that they're going to be bringing in new burn cards, which are all Titan themed. So you'll get like amped versions of Titan weapons, Titan abilities, stuff like that. They also announced that they're going to be bringing in a 2v2 Last Titan Standing game mode, which sounds really interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Last Titan Standing in general, just as it is right now, but 2v2 sounds like it could be really interesting. So I'm looking forward to playing that. They didn't say when they're going to be bringing that stuff out, but I assume it's going to be pretty soon. They also announced something that they're working on, which will allow you to create teams and look for teams, get people on your team through the use of hashtags, which allows you to team up with people without having to know their gamer tags and add them as a friend and all that stuff. You all just need to use the same hashtag and you'll be put on the same team through the use of that hashtag. So that's amazing for like open lobbies and stuff. Like I could get on Twitter and be like, hey guys, I'm about to play Titanfall, and we could all just use the hashtag Watts and you just automatically get put into my team. Like that makes everything so much easier rather than gathering people's gamer tags and all this stuff. That makes it so much easier. So I'm super excited for that. And they also announced that they're gonna be bringing in Titan customization. They didn't go into huge details, but they did mention Titan decals. So I assume that you can make your own decal and put it on your Titan. So that's really cool. Who knows what else they're gonna do? All of this stuff is free that they're bringing us. Like the DLC for the maps we pay for, but all of these updates and all of this extra stuff is completely free, which is awesome. So I was super happy and super excited for all of these announcements. Let me know what you think about everything in the comment section, guys. I really want to know your opinion. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Ouch, I just hit my arm for being excited. I'm such a derp sometimes.